always eager to tackle any Greene and Greene project once I got over my initial hesitation. In fact, that was orchestrated by Ted. He hired a cultural landscape history report, and I attended the committee meetings, and these volumes of photographs and letters and notes and things came out, and I read that word for word and highlighted certain things and examined those photographs to see what had been. And what I discovered was things that really shouldn't be reproduced today. Little fussy plants that would require trimming almost every 4 days, and a lot of water and a lot of care. So I put a little bit of that in this garden. The other thing that I enjoyed putting into the garden were the older plants that were delicate and lovely. Even though my jobs are not necessarily simple, I've always liked the simplicity of Greene and Greene, and the Japanese kind of hewing things to their fundamentals and leaving that bare and clean and clear. I like that. And if I have a complex garden with many elements, let's say stone and concrete and plantings in shaping, I try to make them seamless so they're one thing, not a collection of things. I seem to always like to put some stepping stones into a job, and I think it's because of my love for the organic feel of things and also the Japanese kind of qualities of making nature useful and instead of having a ribbon of concrete. So one way or another, and I also use it as a signal that this is not the main way, this is a side way. So when I was in about my 40s or 50s, my Uncle Sumner died, and I inherited many of the boxes of things he had. And one by one, through the years, I opened them up and found what was in them, amongst some other things, some Kodachromes of my grandfather in the 40s, which nobody had known about. But here was a rolled up piece of, we call it tissue paper, skinny paper. And I unrolled it one day and looked at it and figured it must have been Grandpa had made some alterations for Uncle Sumner's house. And I saw these stepping stones drawn from the driveway to the back door. And I kind of, my hair stood on end. I thought, well, God, that's just like what I do. And another time I was beginning to encourage my lady clients to put a drying yard out in the back with hedges around it, and nice lawn. The clothes will drop and it's okay, and they get all, your undies get all fresh and they smell good, and it's a nice garden thing. And somewhere in that time I looked at the paper again, and here was this rectangle in the backyard, and it said close yard. And again, so I feel like it's streaming in my blood. He would have loved the things they're doing now. And by the way, as far as designing in Greene and Greene houses, and this is now maybe 7th or 8th or 9th or something, I don't know, I feel very free to do as I think the garden should be. My first house wasn't that way. I agonized. But I realized how open-minded Grandpa was, and forward-looking and democratic. And I feel like if I have found a way to make something good, he would love it. So I feel supported in these kind of designs.